So what I want to do now is I want to talk to you about creating a straight line in Photoshop. So I'm going to press B for brush, and then right here you can see that the brush tool has been selected. I have yellow for my color. I want to do something a little bit more, have more of a contrast on the white than yellow. So I'm going to do the green. And the way how I'm going to quick select the green is I'm pressing X on my keyboard and it flips those two color swatches. Another way that I could do it is click the arrows. Now that I have my brush selected, I have the color that I want selected, I'm coming up here and I notice that this is not the brush that I want to work with. I want to do a hard edge brush for this project. So I'm going to expand this window out so I can see it a little bit better. And I am going to come up here and I'm going to collapse default, collapse legacy, and I'm going to work in my general brushes. And again, for a straight line today, what I want to work with is the hard edge. So I'm going to click that one. Press enter on my keyboard, use the brackets next to the letter P, and I'm going to, whoops, hold on a second. What I have is my caps lock is on, that's why I can't see my brush, so I'm going to turn off my caps lock. And now I'm going to make my brush the size that I would like. Smaller brushes are better for your straight line, especially when you're first learning, so I would make sure that your brush is on the smaller side, like I just did. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click anywhere I want on my artwork. Oops, I probably shouldn't do that yet. Let me delete that. And the reason why I don't want to do that is I'm on the background layer. So what I actually need to do first is layer, new layer. And I'm going to just label this line. And I'm making sure over here I am in the highlighted line layer. And now again, I'll just click somewhere. Now this is the tricky part that kids don't get. What you should do is click somewhere, then press and hold the shift key. Move your mouse somewhere else. So I'm just moving my mouse, I'm not clicking on it, and then click again and it does a straight line. But what kids do is they click with their mouse once, then they press and hold the shift key and hold the mouse down at the same time. And it's almost like Etch-a-Sketch. Do you see no matter where I'm moving my mouse, it's stuck on that line? Which isn't a bad thing, but just understand that there's two different ways to do a straight line in Photoshop. So again, to recap, click anywhere, press and hold the shift key, move my mouse where I want, click again, move my mouse where I want, click again, and this entire time I am just holding down that shift key and I am never letting it go. So that's one way. And then the second way is I click and hold my shift key at the same time, and that would make me do horizontal. If I click and hold, whoops, my shift key at the same time, this would do the vertical line. All right, does that make sense? Now, when you're working with the straight line, it's a really great tool to use for different things. One, to create a pattern. So if I click, I can go in and I can create this really nice pattern. I can go back in, zoom in a bit. Whoops, B for brush, hand on the space bar for a grab tool, use my brackets to make a smaller line. Maybe I'll even change it so it's a little bit of a different color. This shows me what it was. This is showing me what it is now. And then I can click and hold that shift key and see how now you can start to create a type of pattern. Okay, so that's one great thing for using the shift key and the brush tool in Photoshop. Another thing that's helpful is, let me go, I'll just delete this actually. And so I'll actually just go to, instead of creating a new layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a project that I've been working on. So here I am working on a flower. So if I wanted to erase something and do it in a nice clean way, like see how this is kind of looking a little jagged, I could do Control+ to zoom in. Press E for my eraser. I'm going to want a hard edge brush for this, and I can click once with my eraser and then holding the shift key. Do you see how that is creating a cleaner line as I go down? All right, so again I use that shift key, and now every time that I click it draws a straight line between that. And just because it's drawing a straight line, that doesn't mean that you can't use it. I'm going to actually make this brush smaller. Doesn't mean that you can't use it on a curved area. So again, here, I can start to clean up the edge here and then go back. All right. So again, brush tool, I can click to make something large like this, and then I could go in with my eraser and start to, oops, oh right, because look at that, I did it on my background layer. So I'm going to delete, layer, new layer, press OK, B for brush, E for eraser, and then again, see, using that shift key, I can start to clean things up to make them look more like I want them to. All right, so those are different options for using the shift key and the paintbrush. And of course, everything that you do with the paintbrush can easily be applied to using that eraser as well.